The flags are waving in the wind. The smoke from the grill rises up, and songs and dances are heard in the background. And yet, a big question mark hovers in the air. Why did we even need all of this? Wouldn't it have been simpler and more profitable? Without it, what a terrible price in blood we have paid and are still paying for holding onto this piece of land. Why the irrational insistence on being a thorn in the throat of hundreds of millions of enemies, dealing with the Iranian threat, getting entangled with all the bureaucracy and the hassle that come with running a state? The most talented thunder in the world could easily integrate into an advanced and enlightened country like the United States, for example, to enjoy freedom of thought, equal rights, and to manage his life with full autonomy, thriving and succeeding. And yet, every year we say thank you. We gather in synagogues dressed in white, wave the flag with pride, and say Hallel. We thank and praise the Creator of the world for the greatest gift we've received in the last 2,000 years, the State of Israel, whose establishment is a new and enlightening chapter in our history. So why a state and why specifically here? For at least 10 different reasons. 1, the cessation of the desecration of God's name in the diaspora. The very existence of the people of Israel, scattered and shattered in exile, is like a terrible desecration. We are the people who bear the name of the sovereign of the universe and represent him on earth. This people I have formed for myself. They shall declare my praise. When we appear on the world stage as a magnificent, successful kingdom, living in the light of God, it is a sanctification of God's name like no other. The situation where we are scattered in exile, in poverty and misery, is a temporary state that must end. And even if we are not worthy of it on our own merits. Thus says the Lord, not for your sake do I act, O house of Israel, but for my holy name, which you have profaned among the nations where you came. Secondly, Jewish blood is not ownerless. For 2,000 years, any mad king or angry noble could wake up one morning and decide to expel or kill the Jews of his kingdom. The most we could do was plead for our lives, or try to bribe him to cancel the decree. We stood in absolute poverty, facing waves of pogroms, the Inquisition, crusades, a terrible Holocaust, while the whole world watched indifferently and remained silent. Since then, with the establishment of the state, it is clear to everyone that the people of Israel are not abandoned. Jewish blood will no longer be spilled like water, and anyone who tries to harm us will receive a double portion in return. 3, a refuge for the Jews of the world. When one of the Holocaust survivors was asked what was the hardest day for you during the war, he replied, the day it ended. When they asked why, he explained that when the Allied soldiers liberated his labor camp, they lined up all the survivors of different nations and asked each one where they wanted to go now. Everyone had an address and a home to return to. Russia, Poland, France, only I, the Jew, had nowhere to go. And then the establishment of the State of Israel changed all that. For every Jew in the world, in Ethiopia, in Russia, in Yemen, in Germany, there will always be a place ready to welcome them with love. The situation of rickety ships tossing in a stormy sea, with no country willing to open its gates and accept the Jewish refugees, will never return again. The commandment of settling the land. Every Jew is obligated by the Torah's commandment, and you shall take possession of it and dwell in it. A precious commandment, which according to the words of the sages, is equivalent to all the commandments. However, its full realization is only possible as a nation that establishes a sovereign state there, that we do not leave it in the hands of others among the nations or desolate. For many generations, we were compelled. We simply could not fulfill our obligation. With the establishment of the state, we were privileged after 2,000 years to fulfill the commandment of settling the land in its complete sense. 5, the annulment of the 3 oaths. Throughout the long exile, even when ideas arose to renew the Jewish settlement in the land, the fear of the oaths hovered in the air. I adjure you, daughters of Jerusalem, by the gazelles and by the hinds of the field, that you not stir up nor awaken love until it pleaseth. And the sages explained, the Holy One, blessed be he, made Israel swear not to ascend the wall and not to rebel against the nations of the world. However, when the nations of the world recognized, with the San Remo resolution and later with the partition plan, the right of the Jewish people to return to their land and build their national home there, the fear of the oaths dissipated. And the path to renew our days as of old and to establish a Jewish state was opened before us. 6. Rescue from assimilation. This is referred to as the silent Holocaust. The Jewish diaspora is gradually destroying itself. 50% of Jews in the United States today marry non-Jews and disconnect from the Jewish people. In Western Europe, the numbers climb to 80%. The terrible implication is that in many places around the world, within 2 generations, there will be no Jews left, God forbid. Only in the land of Israel does the Jewish people succeed in distinguishing and uniting themselves and maintaining a faithful framework of marriage according to the religion of Moses and Israel. 7. The fulfillment of the prophecies about the ingathering of the exiles. Old men and old women will yet sit in the streets of Jerusalem, each with his staff in hand because of great age, and the streets of the city will be filled with boys and girls playing. And they will dwell there securely and build houses and plant vineyards. When these wonderful prophecies were spoken 2,500 years ago, they seemed like an imaginary dream, delusional, detached from reality. Today, these are newspaper headlines. Entire chapters in the Bible that were spoken during times of destruction and decline as future prophecies are coming true before our eyes as we are essentially the next chapter in the Bible. The establishment of the state is also a death blow to Christian theology, which is based on the idea that the Holy One, blessed be He, abandoned the people of Israel because of their sins and replaced them with others, and from then on they were doomed to a life of misery and humiliation. That they are scattered and shattered to all corners of the earth. Behold, what a wonder! The unbelievable happened. The Lord shines His face upon His children, and the people of Israel return home and establish their state exactly as foretold by the Torah and the prophets. The eternal choice of the people of Israel is clearer than ever. The land's blossoming is before us. For 2,000 years we were not here. But all this time, the land remained faithful to us. Despite the fact that there was no empire or conqueror who didn't try to lay their hands on it, it remained desolate and indifferent to them. Exactly as promised by the Torah. And I will make the land desolate, and your enemies who dwell upon it will be desolate. Behold, what a wonder! From the moment the people of Israel returned home, the dead land came to life and is blossoming before them. An amazing economic and agricultural abundance suddenly appeared after 2,000 years. And you, mountains of Israel, will yield your branches and bear your fruit for my people Israel, for they are soon to come. This is the most evident sign of redemption in the eyes of the sages. There is no more revealed end than this. 9. The spiritual significance. Even in exile, one must continue to observe the commandments, but their value is much less. In terms of signs, as reminders of the real thing, which only takes place in the land of Israel. Even though I exile you, be distinguished by the commandments, so that when you return, they will not be new to you. Only here can the people of Israel fulfill their full destiny as a kingdom of priests and a holy nation, and be a light unto the nations. And nations shall walk by your light, and kings by the brightness of your dawn. For from Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. 10. The flourishing of the world of Torah. Since the days of David and Solomon, there has not been such an amazing flourishing of the world of Torah as there is today in the land of Israel. Thousands of Torah schools, yeshivas, seminaries, all flourishing, with the largest sponsor of Torah institutions in the world being none other than the state of Israel. The sages say that King Hezekiah had the potential to be the Messiah. We did not merit this because he did not sing praises. We must be careful not to be ungrateful towards the Master of the universe, to take the abundance of goodness he bestows upon us for granted, and not to see the light of redemption shining upon us. Happy Independence Day.